Hello. I am back. I am back. I am back. I took a few days away. Can you all see me? I took a few days away for good reason because I took a little trip. Yes, I did. Trips, you can take trips when you are a freelance writer who lives abroad. So let me get into that. But first, let me write the question of the day. We'll write the question of the day. Okay, cool. So I was away for a couple of days, and then I came back, and I had to get a few things done with my business because I closed up a lot of things. I'm starting up a lot of new projects, and so yeah. So today's Friday, and I'm coming back. But my trip that I went on was I took a nice trip to Park, Akajira Park, which is sort of like what would you call it? A game park, safari park, where you can go and see all the animals and things like that. It was a really cool trip. It was a weekend trip. We did like overnight camping and all sorts of other stuff. And so I saw like hippos, um, saw elephants, giraffes. That was the first time I've ever seen giraffes in real life. Such beautiful, beautiful, graceful animals. Zebras also. Oh my God, zebras. They're such, giraffes and the zebras, such majestic animals. Oh my God. So beautiful to see them on, just in like in real life. You can't walk around the park. You have to be driven around just because there's lions in the park. I don't know how many. We didn't get to see any lions, and there was something else that we didn't see. I can't remember, but I saw rhinos and a few other things. Very cool place to be able to hang out. So I went to Akajira. If you've never been, if you're come to Rwanda, make sure that you take a visit to Akajira National Park. You can just go for the day. You don't necessarily have to stay overnight like I did. Um, but yeah, great place to go, and I can do that because I'm a freelance writer. Like when you take breaks, from your job. Most people don't get to get up and go on a safari, but I can do that because I live in Rwanda. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Halana Black. I am a freelance writer for a living. I do a variety of writing, as a matter of fact, and I'm so excited because my writing life and my writing business is like expanding into new and exciting things, and I just want to be able to share all those things with you. But um, what I do first is my freelance writing I do corporate marketing for tech businesses mostly. I do content marketing for tech businesses. And so I write blog posts and ebooks and white papers and articles and other sorts of website content to help these companies to market themselves to other businesses. Usually, like software companies, they sell their software to other businesses. And so they hire me um, to be able to come in and write these particular pieces of material for them. So I've been doing this business since 2000. I've been doing it full time since 2015. So what is that, like 8, 9 years now? And I absolutely love it. Now, when I first started this business, I was making $9 per blog post. Swear to goodness, people were giving me jobs where I was making like $9 a blog post. Absolutely pathetic in the very beginning. As a matter of fact, in my first year of my business, um, in my first year of business, uh, my business was so scattered because of only making $9 per blog post. And so I can only do it for 1 year, and then I had to take like a full-time consulting gig because I just wasn't making enough money. And so I was very happy that that consulting gig came along. But once that 1 year consulting gig was finished, I promised myself that I would figure out how to have a full-time freelance writing business without having to take on a full-time job. And I have kept that promise to myself. And so I went from making $9 per blog post to making around $1,500 is the most that I've been paid for a blog post. And of course, I get paid for more money to be able to do other things, like content strategy, and to write bigger pieces of materials like white papers and ebooks and things like that. So, um, what else did I want to talk about? It's Friday, so I've finished some of my other jobs that I've been working on. I don't think I told you guys this before, but I had taken on a job with an international organization. A friend here hooked me up with the communications officer of a international aid organization here. And we were working on, it was a big editing job for a few policy papers that they had written. And then I cut those policy papers down into policy briefs, and I had to collaborate with a designer to be able to get all of that stuff designed properly with, like, in color and on the glossy paper and all that other stuff. So that it took a little bit longer than what it needed to take, but it's finally done. So that project has been invoiced, and so I'm excited about that. Finished another project. It was an ebook for a software company in the States. Um, just a simple software that they want to be able to pivot. They were using this particular software um, for lawyers, and then they hired me to be able to take what's been written for the lawyers, and they want to be able to transfer that to government agencies. And so it was a very short project. It took me a couple of weeks to be able to finish it. So therein, between those two jobs, that was about $5,000 worth of work for two projects. And I did not work full time on those. Um, so that's pretty cool. And, August is just beginning. Um, and so, yeah, so I have a lot of time. I have just taken on a client who wants support with a a short story that she's writing for a contest. Um, I don't get to do a lot of fiction editing, so this is really fun. This is like it's different from what it is that I usually do with the nonfiction stuff, the content marketing. And so I'm really excited to be able to support her on, she's just a really brilliant writer. Reminds me a lot of, God, what's the book? I can't even think of the book. I can see it in my head, but I can't think of the book. Yeah, I can't think of the name of the book right now. But she's a brilliant writer, and I'm really excited to be able to just sort of use some of my other skills, my editing skills in the fiction space. So that's really exciting. And then I've also taken on a new long-term freelance writing client for a young lady who wants to start her own freelance writing business. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to be working with her for 6 weeks, for the next 6 weeks, and then we'll have some sprinkling in of checking in and trying to see what other sorts of support that she needs to be able to build her freelance writing business, because she wants to be able to take her business and travel abroad with it, just like I'm doing. So I'm really excited to be able to to help her with that. So that's pretty much what's going on with me. I know we want to get to the business of today's video. What are we talking about? We are talking about why every freelance writer should have a LinkedIn profile. A LinkedIn profile. Not necessarily. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have other profiles in other social media spaces, but number one, the one that makes me the most money, the one that's the easiest for me to be able to navigate, the one that I use on a daily basis is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. You can use all the other ones if you want. But I'm going to tell you today why LinkedIn is the best. I think this light is better, at least for my eyeglass situation, because the eyeglasses don't, um, at least not too hard. And this light is pretty nice. Okay, so let's get into the video. Why every freelance writer should have a LinkedIn profile. Why LinkedIn? Because number one, it's a professional social media site. It's a professional social media site where you're sure to get all the industry news on, I don't care what it is that you write about. If you're writing about golf, if you're writing about software, if you're writing in the health space, if you do anything in the travel space, everything that you could think about, you can find it on LinkedIn. Not that you can't find it on these other spaces, on the IGs, the TikToks, and all that other stuff, but the ones, the companies that like the bigger companies you'll find, and then it's the bigger companies who are going to pay you the most money. And that is what you want to be the foundation of your business. How much money you want to be able to make in your freelance writing business is really up to you. I don't really tell people that because some people, they may just need like an extra $1,000 a month. And that's fine. And other people want $5,000, $10,000 a month, even with their business. And you can do that. You want to be able to do that with companies who actually have a budget to be able to pay you those big dollars, and not with, fooling around with folks on IG with these tiny, teeny, tiny businesses who want to pay you, $50 for a blog post, maybe. Um, as a matter of fact, that was one of the things that one of my recent coaching clients had told me. She actually works in content marketing and has done it for the last 7 years, but she's done it as a full-time employee with other marketing companies. And so what she would like to be able to do, within the next year or so, is to be able to transition into her own freelance, a location independent freelance writing business, so that she can travel the world. As a matter of fact, she actually has a job somewhere in Europe at the moment, and she's able to travel with her business, but or with the company that she works with. But she wants to be able to just have more time, freedom, more choice about what type of projects that she's working on, and all sorts of other things. So what she did before she spoke to me was she went on IG and did a quick video about how she could help people with a business, and letting her know that her services were available. And what she did, she did the video, and the response that she got from the video were, a few people who were interested in her services. However, when she told them her price, they just didn't have the budget for it. And so she was really confused as to where to go to be able to find companies who could pay her the fees, her professional fees, because she's not a beginner. She's not a beginning writer. She's been doing it for like 7 years. She's been working for marketing companies. She just wants to be able to do it as a freelancer. And so I had to give her the LinkedIn speech. The LinkedIn speech. LinkedIn is the professional space where you don't have to waste time with all these other people who, um, they're just really small businesses. They don't really know what they want. They think they're doing you a favor by hiring you, um, to do some editing stuff and all that other stuff. And they just don't have the budget. They don't have the mindset. They don't have the budget. They don't have the marketing set up. You want to be able to set yourself up so that you are working with people who understand marketing and the reasons why they need a content marketing professional like yourself to be on the team. So number one, you're using LinkedIn because LinkedIn is the professional space where pretty much everybody, every industry that you can think about is on there. And you can find a lot of companies that have big marketing budgets who understand the value of a freelance writer. Number two, why use LinkedIn? Because it's free. Now, LinkedIn, you can certainly pay for it. You can certainly pay for LinkedIn. However, it's not necessary, right? It's not necessary. And why pay for stuff that's not necessary, especially if you're a beginner? So you can go on LinkedIn if you don't already have a profile. You can set up a quick profile and you can start to poke around just to sort of see what's in there, who's on there. Um, and you can start to see immediately the value of LinkedIn as a free platform. You don't have to use the paid platform of LinkedIn. I actually do pay for it, but that's only because I've reached a point in my networking where it works for me. It makes sense for me to be able. But as a newbie, you don't have to pay for it. Okay. And so that leads me to my question of the day. I'm going to put it in the description box as well as pin it in the comments. Are you already on LinkedIn? I need to know yes or no. Are you on LinkedIn? And then why or why not? Do you like it? Or maybe you don't like it. I would like to be able to know that. So I'll put that question in there. That's the question of the day. Okay, so number three reason why why every freelance writer should have a LinkedIn profile. Number three, people are looking for professional connections. Now, if you're on things like Facebook, Instagram, I get all sorts of DMs on some tomfoolery that is about anything and everything but work. Um, so when you're on there, what I hear from some people that I speak to is that if they use LinkedIn and they, you can send DMs to people on LinkedIn, they feel like they're bothering people. And the thing about LinkedIn is that because it's a professional site, they actually expect to hear from people who are coming to them about business related things. So, you're not DMing them because you want them to, come to your party or something like that. Um, you're sending them DMs because you have something valuable to be able to offer them. And they want to hear from you. They really do. People really want to hear from you. I don't think I've ever heard, I send out a good, I don't know, a good 100. Do I? Yeah, I send out about a good 100, usually 20 connection requests a day. That's just part of my regular marketing routine. So by the end of the week, I've generally sent about 100 requests um, for connection with people. And I'm trying to think, I've never had a person come back and say, leave me the hell alone. You shouldn't be sending me this. It's usually like sometimes people, they may not have a reason to be connected to me. Sometimes people, they may not be able to hire me at the time because they don't have the budget or whatever else is going on. But they want to stay connected and they're actually delighted that I reached out to them. And that's how you grow your network on LinkedIn. Um, and so number three, people are really looking for uh, professional connection. So long as you are talking to them about professional things, they welcome your connection there. So number four, every freelance writer should have a LinkedIn profile because it's a great networking space for introverts. I'm an extreme introvert. I don't necessarily love doing these videos, but I'm learning how to be able to do the videos because I want to be able to market my business. But I realize that networking is something that you kind of have to do every day. If you don't do it every day, your leads will dry up. And I, as an introverted person, need to be able to do that in a way that doesn't kill all of my energy. When you have to speak to people all the time or having to go out to an event all of the time, um, going to conferences, all of those things are really great ways to be able to network and meet people. But just on the daily, just going out and connecting with people, I find that LinkedIn is the best way to be able to do it. Mostly because as an introverted person, I don't have to go to any in person events that are going to kill my energy. And then, number two, as a person who travels, um, this was probably even more valid during the pandemic, but people weren't going out, during a certain time. And so it was just really easy to be able to just go online and be able to speak to people. And really, it still is. It still is. It's still really easy to be able. People are, doing, conferences online. Um, they're doing small events online. It's just really, really easy to be able to speak to people in any location. So I can be located in Kigali, Rwanda, and be able to have talk to people who are in robotics companies in the Boston area, Boston, Massachusetts, without actually having to be there. And to be honest, they don't even know that I'm here. I don't even have to have that conversation unless they ask me, of course. Then I tell them. But for the most part, I don't lead with the fact that I travel the world while working. Um, I lead with the most professional side of me. I tell them I lead with reasons, with my portfolio. I tell them what it is that I know how to write about. These are my skills. And then, then during the chit chat, if they happen to ask me, where I live, then I'll tell them. And that's really a great way to be able to you got to know how to be able to use that as a way to be able to hook them. Because a lot of people actually really love the fact that you travel while you are working as a writer, because secretly, a lot of them really wish that they could do it also. So when you do it, I kind of find like it's like it makes me stick out. And I find that some of them are even willing to even pay me more because they're just so excited to meet me. It makes you interesting. It makes you interesting. Being a location independent writer actually makes you interesting. So that's number four. It's great for introverts and travelers. LinkedIn is. Number five, the fifth reason why every freelance writer should have a LinkedIn profile is because LinkedIn, you can actually optimize for your particular skill set. So you can have a Facebook profile or an IG profile or a TikTok profile, but your profile sort of gets lost in the sauce. And you're just sort of, you're talking to people, random people out there. So, number one, when you have a LinkedIn profile, you can use something called keywords. Keywords are words and phrases that other people are going to LinkedIn and they type in if they're looking for a particular skill or a person that has a particular type of experience. They can type that into the search bar. And depending on the keywords that you use in your profile, they'll be able to find you. Can't necessarily do that with Facebook, IG, TikTok, so on and so forth. Same thing with using things like hashtags. If you do a post, and let's say you're doing a post about, um, I don't know, what would you write a post about? If you're writing a post on teaching people how to be able to use a particular piece of technology, you might want to use, um, if you're writing a post about how chatbots work for a particular company, or even for yourself. you can use the hashtag, artificial intelligence, hashtag, whatever the name of the company is, hashtag, technology, um, all those sorts of things. Hashtags are really important. People do searches on LinkedIn in the same way, much the same way that they do on Google. So you can use hashtags. You can also share your writing samples on LinkedIn. I tell this all the time to freelance writing newbies. If you don't have a freelance writing website yet, you can use your LinkedIn profile as a free space for you to be able to share your writing samples. There's a featured section. If you, I think maybe I should put my LinkedIn profile in the description box so you can go ahead and see. And while you're over there, send me a friend request, or not a friend request, but a connection request, so that we can be connected on LinkedIn. Ooh, that's crazy. Um, but yeah, you can keep your writing samples there. And really, and probably the best thing that I really love about um, using LinkedIn as a freelance writer is that you get to curate a list of connections. You get to curate your list of connections. When you do like Facebook and all that other stuff, you sort of, you pick up people from, um, friends from high school that, who really can't help you with your freelance writing business. But on LinkedIn, you get to curate your list of connections because you're only connecting with people who are relevant to the business that you want to build. So it may include past employers if you're working with any of your past employers. Um, but at least for myself, I connect with a lot of people who are working in the marketing departments of tech companies because that's my main goal. Um, and you can do the same thing with your business. You can actually create a curated list of connections so that when you actually do posts, or if you create like a newsletter, or if you create articles, if you write, full length articles on LinkedIn, it actually gets shared with people who are relevant to your life and not, your best friends from high school, as you would on Facebook. So that's what I have for you today. Why every freelance writer should have a LinkedIn profile. I would love to be able to talk to you about your LinkedIn profile. Um, I do offer one-on-one consulting sessions with people. If you go to the description box, you can go ahead and click on the link there. It says halanablack.com/freelance writing coach. Or you can just go to halanablack.com and click on freelance writer coaching, and you can set up a session there. I'll be happy to talk to you about your LinkedIn profile, or really any other questions you have about building a successful freelance writing business that you can take anywhere in the world, just like I do. So, uh, let's see, what else? What else am I doing? Tomorrow afternoon, I'll be going to a women's basketball game here in Kigali, Rwanda. That's pretty cool. I've never done that. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I don't know, I should be doing some hiking or something this weekend. I'm in my last month of being here in Rwanda, so I want to be able to enjoy it and leave here on a high note as I move to my next country. So that's all I have for you today. I will see you tomorrow. We're getting back on our regular schedule. So on Saturday or tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, I'll be back here with another video. Peace.